Hey everybody, we are continuing our series on rhythm patterns, and today we're going to be talking about our 6-note rhythm pattern played over our 5th chord progression. So we start all these off in the key of C, so our first step is to go over the C major scale. So that is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then we use the number system and put numbers to that major scale. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then we use chords to play over that major scale. So the first chord is a C. Second chord is a minor chord. That is a 2 minor or a D minor. And then our third chord is a slash chord. So that's a 1 over 3 or a C over an E bass. And then our fourth chord is an F. 5 chords a G. 6 chords a minor. That's an A minor. 7th chord is a 5 over 7. So that's another slash chord. And then our last one is a C, or a 1. So if you play those together. But the reason we don't play it like that is because it doesn't sound very smooth. It's not very cohesive. So that's the reason why we came up with these 5 different chord progressions to play over that major scale progression, just to make these sound a little bit smoother. So this 5th chord progression, Have you ever wanted to learn how to play your favorite worship songs on piano? Well, I have something that's perfect for you. It's called Worship Piano Academy. It's an online space to help people of all skill levels learn to play worship piano exactly like the pros do. It's packed full of simple techniques that are easy to follow and tailored specifically for worship piano players. If you're brand new to piano, we have all the basic lessons to get you on track. If you've been playing for a while, we have tons of advanced lessons and tips for you too. So check out worshippianoacademy.com. The first chord's a C, and we do octave Gs, and our right hand kind of stays in this position. So here's our C chord with octave Gs, or our 1. And then our second chord, instead of a 2 minor or a D minor, we play a F sus2 over a D bass. Or another way to say that would be 4 sus2 over 2. And then our third chord is a C over E, or 1 over 3. And again, we play that with octave Gs. And then our fourth chord is a 4 sus2. And then our 5th chord is a G sus4. So here's our G sus4 with octave Gs. And at this point, we move our hand down so that our left hand and right hand aren't playing overlapping notes. So we move it down here. And then our 6 minor, we play that as a 1 over 6 with octave Gs. And then our 5 over 7, we play that as a G sus4 with octave Gs over that 7 bass, which is a B. And then our last chord is a C. So if you play those together, bring your left hand down, like that. And then the 6-note rhythm pattern that we're going to play over that progression, it's 6 notes, and we use 16th note rhythm patterns to play that 6-note rhythm pattern. And so a quarter note is kind of the baseline of rhythm. So a quarter note just means that there's 4 quarter notes inside a measure of music. And so you count that 1, 2, 3, 4. An 8th note is double that tempo. And so it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then a 16th note is double that. And so it's 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So that's how we're going to play the 16th note rhythm pattern. And then where we play that 6-note rhythm pattern, if we have a chord change on the 1 beat, then that rhythm pattern is going to be and a, 4 E and a, going into that chord on the 1 beat. So the notes that we use, it's 1s and 5s. And typically on the other 4 progressions that we were using, we were going up an octave and playing it like that. But in this position, our hand is already down here in this 5-1-5 position. So instead of moving up an octave and then having to bring our hand back down to play the chord, we're just going to keep our right hand here and play the 5-1-5 right here. And then our left hand will play the 1, and then 5-1, and then we'll hit the chord. And so if we have a chord on the 1, then our progression is going to be and 4 E and then we'll play the next chord 2, 3, and 4 E and to the next chord 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and then we'll move our left hand down because we ran out of room. 2, 3, and 4 E and 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and 1, 2, So let's speed this up. We'll keep a chord change on the 1 beat and we'll play it to the tempo a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Like that. And so now let's speed up those chord changes. So now we'll have a chord change on the 1 and on the 3 beat. So in that case, our rhythm pattern is going to be and a 2E and a, and then and a 4E and a going into those 2 chord changes. So it'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. And then another way you can play this, if your chords are spread out a little bit further, we'll keep a chord change on the 1. Then we'll do quarter note hits with our right hand on the 2 and the 3 beat. And then we'll do the rhythm pattern and a 4E and a going into that chord change that's on the 1. So we'll try that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Like that. And then obviously when you're playing these songs, the chords don't walk up and down the progression of that major scale. It's going to be the same chords, but they're going to jump around to different chords inside that progression. So it's important when you're practicing this to just not walk up and down, because as you jump around, your hand position is going to change a little bit and makes it a little bit tougher to kind of jump from a 1 to a 4 or a 1 to a 5 as opposed to a 1 to a 2. So jump around, pick different chord progressions, and play inside that scale, and then just make sure that it's nice and smooth. So in this scenario, we'll do 4, 1, 5, 6. We'll play that a couple times. So here's your 4, here's your 1, here's your 5, and then here's your 6, or 6 minor. And then we'll change a couple different chords, and then we'll kind of see how that goes. So once you get this in the key of C and you can walk up and down that progression, you can pick different chord progressions inside that major scale and kind of jump around and play to a metronome and speed it up, and you can play really smooth where there's no sticky points or anything like that. Then it's important to jump to all the other 12 keys, because once you start to include these black notes, your hand position is going to change and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to try to get your fingers to fit in between some of these notes. So once you get it in C, jump to the other keys and just make sure you can play all those really smooth, and it's going to make you a much better piano player by working in all the different keys. So let's do this. We'll start in the key of C, we'll work our way up to the other 12 keys, and we'll kind of see how that goes. Then we'll do D. E. do the sharps and flats. We'll start in C sharp. And then E flat. F sharp. And then G sharp. And then B flat. And then work on that, and then I'll see you in the next lesson where we talk about our 7-note rhythm pattern played over those 5 chord progressions. So I'll see you then.